Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again. Rejoice. Greetings, church family. I pray you're all doing well, and I hope that you were able to join us for Children's Day this past Sunday. If you were not able to be here, I want you to know that God certainly blessed us through the children. They did an outstanding job. And I just want to take a moment and thank God for them and thank them for their hard work preparing for Children's Day. I also want to say a big thank you to Miss Betty for her work in organizing Children's Day, and also all those who had a part in making the day so special. Thank you. Thank you all. Also, another thank you to everyone who helped make our first post-pandemic meal such a success. It was so good to see our church family not only enjoying delicious food, but also enjoying great fellowship. And we hope we'll have another opportunity to break bread together in the not too distant future. Our Old Testament lectionary reading for this week comes from 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 34, and goes through chapter 16, verse 13. In this passage, God directs Samuel to go to Bethlehem to see Jesse and anoint one of Jesse's sons king over Israel. The Reverend Wendy Joyner titles today's devotional Unexpected Greatness. And she writes, how many times do we make decisions based solely upon outside appearances? I have found myself time and time again gauging people's potential based on a variety of factors that have little to do with what really matters. If I'm honest, I must admit that as I look at the world, I tend to focus upon the things I can see with my eyes. I find myself making assumptions about people. My vision is sometimes clouded by characteristics such as gender, age, race, education, or background. That's why I can relate so well to the dilemma of the prophet Samuel as God called him to anoint a new king. Samuel is called by God to go to Bethlehem, to the house of Jesse, to anoint a new king. Once Samuel arrives and the selection process gets underway, the picture becomes almost comical. One by one, Jesse's sons are brought before the prophet. I can almost hear Samuel's inner dialogue. This one seems smart, and he's really handsome. Or, this one would make a wonderful military leader. He's mighty strong. Yet, one by one, God rejects these potential candidates. They are all good men, but none of them is the right man. We soon find out that Samuel is looking with a faulty set of eyes. His vision is clouded. He's focusing upon the wrong things, such as physical characteristics. He's also assuming that the place of honor and privilege afforded to the eldest within a family still hold true. Yet God has a different way of seeing. We are reminded that the Lord does not see as mortals see. They look on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. God is seeking a man of integrity and faithfulness. God is looking for a leader who will enact God's will in the life of the nation. God knows that divine grace can do amazing things within the hearts of those that are willing. This passage contains the story of surprising, unexpected divine possibilities. And the story continues today. Who would have guessed that a young boy from a small rural town in South Georgia would grow to hold a place of prominence on the world stage? His family, friends, and neighbors most likely had no idea that Jimmy would one day grow up to be their governor and president. Yet from such humble beginnings, James Earl Carter Jr. would emerge to be a man of great intellect and integrity. God would use his skills in negotiation and conflict resolution to transform relationships among individuals and nations. As a leader committed to carrying out God's will, Carter would help broker a Middle East peace deal, and he would work to fight hunger and disease. Who would have guessed that a farmer with a vision would change his community in radical ways? Clarence Jordan was a man with a PhD in Greek, as well as an undergraduate degree in agriculture. He combined these two passions to form Koinonia Farms, a farming community in Americus, Georgia. His goal was to help people discover a new vision of what the kingdom of God might look like here on earth. He used his skill in the fields to help provide a livelihood for the residents. He used his skill with the languages to challenge the status quo by writing the Cotton Patch Gospels. This modern translation of the scriptures spoke directly to the tensions found in our world and still finds widespread use today. God gave Clarence a dream of people living together in harmony. The residents at Koinonia Farms demonstrated that Christian community was possible by following the radical teachings of Christ. These men were spirit-filled leaders. There was unexpected greatness within them, and countless men and women like them. And God used them to bless the world. We look at these surprising revolutionaries and we remember that God looks on the heart. God looked at their character and potential, not their outward appearances or circumstances. It's sometimes easy for us to dismiss others as lacking in potential simply because we, like Samuel, have faulty vision. We operate from preconceived notions of what leadership and power look like in the world. We mistakenly dismiss the very people who might have the most to offer, all because they are the least likely to catch our attention. God told Samuel to keep looking and challenged him to keep his eyes and his heart open. God chose the most unlikely and unexpected person. Who would have guessed that the youngest boy in Jesse's family, a lowly shepherd, would become a great shepherd of God's people? Samuel had to open his eyes and his heart to see the possibilities that God saw in David. I wonder if this isn't also a challenge for the church as well. Perhaps in this day and time, we are called to see the possibilities that God sees. Is God working to find leaders in unexpected places to bring out God's will in the world? Is God calling us to recognize and embrace unexpected greatness? The most unlikely, unusual people may turn out to bless us and lead us. So then may we keep our hearts and our eyes open to God's surprising movements of grace. And may God continue to bless us all.